video is about quadratic equations. In this video, you will learn to find the maximum and minimum values of a quadratic function. You know what is general form of a quadratic equation or a quadratic function? It is of the type f of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. This expression is called a quadratic function. This is general equation of a quadratic function where a, b, and c are constant and a is not equals to 0. And you can, today you will learn to sketch the graph of this quadratic function, and there is a specific name for that graph. It is called a parabola. The graph of this function is called parabola. And the orientation of this parabola depends on the value of a, which is the coefficient of x square. And the shape of parabola is of the type, it may be like this, or it may be like this. It may be open upwards or it may be open downwards. If the value of this coefficient a if the value of this a is greater than 0, then the curve has a minimum point, which occurs at the lowest point of the curve over here. And if value of this a is less than 0, then curve has a maximum point which occurs at the highest point of the curve over here. And these maximum or minimum points are called turning points or stationary points. So every parabola has a line of symmetry that passes through the maximum or minimum point like this. This is called line of symmetry. And in today's video, you will learn to find the axis crossing points for the graph f of x, and you will learn to find the sketch of the graph y is equals to f of x, and then use the symmetry of the curve to find the coordinates of minimum point. So let's start. For example, you are given a question of the type. So basically, we have two ways to draw the graphs. Equation, you may factorize on a quadratic equation, or you can express by using it the completing the square method. So you will learn both ways to draw the graphs of a quadratic function. For example, if function is of the type f of x is equals to x square minus 3x minus 4. And you have to sketch the graph of this function, x square, a quadratic function. So you need to note down the steps. First step. In first step, you need to check whether factorization is possible or not. X square minus 3x minus 4. So you can factorize it. F of x is basically equals to y. So you can write y is equals to, you use midterm breakage rule, and you can write x square minus 4x plus x minus 4, right? Now you can write y is equals to x minus 4 into x plus 1. This is called factorized form of the equation. So here factorization is possible. So if factorization is possible, then to sketch the graph, you need three things. You need x-intercepts, or two things in x-intercepts, and secondly, you need turning point. So because factorization is possible, so we are first using a first method to sketch the quadratic function when factorization is possible. Then first step may you need to find x-intercept, and the second turning point. X-intercept means the point where your curve crosses the x-axis. So how can you find those points? You know, at x-axis, value of y is 0. So first step, we are finding x-intercept, so you substitute y equal to 0. Y equal to 0 means कि x minus 4 into x plus 1 is 0. So it means either x minus 4 is 0 or x plus 1 is 0. So it means we have two values of x because obviously it's a quadratic equation. Now points are minus 1 and 0 and 4 and 0 because y is 0. So this is how you find x-intercepts. Secondly, to draw the curve, you need to find turning point. So how can you find turning point? Turning point is basically, I told you that line of symmetry is the line that passes through the turning point. So it's the point that divide from where you draw the line of symmetry, and it exactly divide the curve in two equal halves. So it means that you need to find basically midpoint of these two values. Midpoint of this and midpoint of this. Now you will find the second step in which you will find the midpoint of minus 1 and 4. It gives you the x coordinate of the turning point. So we are now doing the second step in which we are finding turning point. So x is midpoint of this x coordinates minus 1 plus 4 by 2, which is 3 by 2, and this is equals to 1.5. This is only x coordinate of the turning point. To find the y coordinate, you substitute the value in the original equation, which was y is equals to x square minus 3x minus 4. Now you substitute this value, 1.5 square minus 3 into 1.5 minus 4. And this is 2.25 minus 4.5 minus 4. And this is equals to minus 6.25. So this is how you find turning point. Now turning point is 1.5. Coordinates of turning points are 1.5 and minus 6.25. Now you will use these values, these 2 points and this point, which is turning point, to sketch the graph. Minus 1, 0, 4, 0. So first we will draw axis. So 0, minus 1, minus 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 positive x-axis, sorry, y-axis. This is origin, and we have negative values of y-axis, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, -6, -7. Now first you will mark the points -1, 0, and this is 4 and 0. And then we have 1.5 and -6.25. It will be approximately here. So we draw a cross. So this is how you can draw the sketch of a quadratic function. Now you can draw a line of symmetry as well. Line of symmetry is a line that touches, that divides the curve into equal halves. So this is the line of symmetry is the line that divides this into two equal halves. From 1.5 causes from this point. From 1.5, and it divides the curve into equal halves. Now we do more questions. For example, if factorization is not possible. For example, the curve is of the type y is equals to 2x square minus 4x plus 5. You need to check whether factorization is possible or not. You cannot apply middle term breakage rule because factorization is not possible here. So if factorization is not possible, you can express this in this form. You can express this whole expression in the form ax minus b whole square plus k plus c or plus k. You can use any letter. Now first you will learn how to express this in this form. This is called computing the square method. In computing the square method, first step is that coefficient of x square should be 1. Means that this should be 1. And how can you make it 1? You take this as common, and your answer is now x square minus 2x plus 5 by 2, which is 2.5. Now in completing the square method, you take half of the coefficient of this x, which is 2, and add its square and subtract its square. Now this becomes x minus 1 whole square. This whole thing, we are using int a square minus 2ab plus b square. And this is minus 1 plus 2.5. So this is equals to x minus 1 whole square. Minus 1 plus 2.5 is 1.5. And now you can open this bracket and multiply it. 2 into 1.5 is 3. Now when factorization is not possible and you have to sketch the quadratic curve, then First, you need to express this in this form, which is ax minus b whole square plus c. And once you express this in the form, then again you must have two things to draw the graph. One, you need y-intercept, and when you do factorization, then you just need x-intercepts. And in this case, you need y-intercept. And secondly, you just need a turning point. So these two are required. So first step, how can you find a y-intercept? To find y-intercept, x is 0. So in this equation, you substitute x is equals to 0. So when you substitute x is 0, this is 0 minus 1 whole squared plus 3. 0 minus 1 whole square means 1. 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 plus 3 is 5. And this is how you get a turning point 0 and 5. Sorry, this is how you get y-intercept 0 and 5. And next thing is, you need to find the value of this turning point. Turning point, turning point means the point where your curve crosses the y-axis. So it's very important to learn how to find turning point. You express this whole expression equals to 0. Now I'm solving second step for you. Second step, turning point. So the expression was x minus 1 whole square. So you substitute this x minus 1 equals to 0. This is square, so it will always be positive. So you will write here x is equals to 0. X is equals to, we take this 1 on the other side, it will be positive. So answer is x is equals to 1. And when you substitute this value in the original equation, the value of y is 3. So how to find turning point? You write x minus 1 equals to 0 and find value of x. And once you find value of x, then back substitute this value in the original equation and you get value of y, which is equals to 3. So this is how you find turning point, which is 1 and 3. Now you will learn to sketch the curve. We just need these 2 points. So 1, 3 and 0, 5. One, 3 and 0, 5. We draw axis first. X and y axis. So this is x axis and y axis. 1, 2, 3, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you mark turning point, which is 0 and 5, and then you mark first you mark y-intercept, which is 0 and 5, Then you mark this turning point, which is 1 and 3. Now you know there is a line of symmetry passes through this point, turning point. This line of symmetry. From this point 1 and 3, you can draw a line of symmetry. This is point 1 and 3. This line divides the curve in two equal parts. So using this line, you can sketch the curve in the opposite direction as well. This is how you can draw the sketch of quadratics when factorization is possible and when factorization is not possible. So when factorization is not possible, then you express this in the form a into x minus b whole square plus c, and then you find y-intercept and the turning point. And when factorization is possible, then you find x-intercept, and second is you need to find the turning point. So in next video, we do more questions and you will learn to determine the number of roots of a quadratic equation and the related conditions for a line to intersect, to be a tangent or not intersect to a given curve.